it's a best of 9, but kicking us off into this game number 1 on Expedition Lost, we have from Dust Gaming, the Blue Terran player, Spear.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner of Expedition Lost, representing Storm Gaming, it is the Red Zerg, EnDerr. And I'm really surprised, but okay, actually, now that I see EnDerr's proxy hatch versus the devil, what I was going to say is, I mean, EnDerr, so late on his hatch and spawning pool, I assumed he was going maybe 3 hatch? And I was thinking, well, he's got to know Spear's going to be cheesy like this, but I mean, both players deciding to start off this best of 9, they got enough leeway in a best of 9, nothing too great, like, it's not as risky as in a best of 3, so it's pretty much, you know what, I'm going to show you, I could do something crazy, and I think I've actually seen this once, not on this map, but I've seen this situation actually arise once.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the fact that they both opened up with cheese, like you were talking about, in a best of 9. In a best of 7, it's basically guaranteed that one game will have cheese. Best of 9, even more so. Game 1, you want that early win. You want to throw your opponent off. Yeah. Double proxy racks versus a proxy hatch. This is going to get so weird.
And just to boot, EnDerr literally has not scouted the main of Spear nor these barracks, so when these 3 Marines and 3 SCVs are coming in, and EnDerr does spot these Marines now, they will go for the Overlords, and this is going to be pretty scary for EnDerr's spawning pool. Literally finishes right now, 4 Queens on the way, and a Spine Crawler, but that proxy hatch, we actually see a bunker really nicely going down in a Spine Crawlers. Now, the only thing that's nice here for EnDerr is that, I mean, obviously, Spear's production is in the middle of the map, so if he wants Marines for that bunker, he's got to pull them back. But there's also, the Spine Crawler is not going to really be able to defend that well if the Marines are, let's say, in the middle of the line of sight blockers on the left-hand side of that hatch.
Yeah, 2 more drones being produced right at that hatch. Ooh, one of them does manage to escape. They're trying to form into Spine Crawlers to get some of that defense up. And like you were talking about, this is a long way for the Marines to run, but now the barracks are in the sky. They're flying away back to the main base.
Yeah, and I mean, at least if someone does this to you, generally as a Terran, I mean, you may scout it because of the creep and checking out that back rocks, but if you don't scout that, I mean, you're never going to actually go into that scouting path, so maybe Spear wanted to get a little more damage with this done, but at least he has scouted this and pretty much denied it. We do see coming out of these, we see Lings coming from this hatch, but I mean, only 4 Lings, and there's 3 Marines already here at Spear's Natural, plus a wall-off going down, but we do see, at least, 8 Lings coming in, but I think Spear's going to be fine. He's got enough. SCVs can box out those Lings as the Marines just hail down hell on them.
Yeah, and this proxy hatch has not come to very much. Of course, a lot had to be invested for both players, but there's so much larva that was invested into those Lings, and if we look at the natural timings, I mean, our Terran guy is going to have actually his command center finishing up a little bit before that Zerg natural, which is not something you see very often.
Yeah, definitely. One nice thing for EnDerr, even though he's going to lose essentially, I guess, his 3rd now, or his proxy hatch, whatever you want to call it, that he did get speed very, very early on. Literally, right as he scouted those bunkers, he already had enough gas for speed, and I presume that's what he was going into, but he does have speed now, so he will be able to contain Spear for a little while. Now, this is going to be very important for EnDerr, because he does, I mean, he's got to get his economy up. He has literally no second queen, so at least his production is going to be very, very low for a while, but for Spear here, it doesn't look like he's got really any intention of moving out. He's making a lot of Marines, but for now, I mean, 3 racks, you're pretty set here.
Not only is he making a bunch of Marines, but he added on that 3rd command center so quickly. He's going to be sitting at least 2 base with triple mule. Very happy as a Terran player, considering how these things opened. You know your Zerg opponent is going to have a delayed 2nd base, probably a delayed 3rd base as well, and even scans the main just to make sure. I mean, there's really no tech that has gone down for our Zerg player. We're hitting almost the 8-minute mark, and still the 3rd base is yet to be established.
Yeah, no 3rd base, and he is actually throwing it down right this minute, but it's not, I don't think it's going to be out in time. Marines are moving across the map now. These are unupgraded, obviously, but there's no bailing nest here, and Lings do spot these Marines coming in, though. Pulls his Lings back from the Zelnaga Watchtower, and this is going to be looking dicey. There's nothing at that 3rd base, no creep at all even to help these Lings. They're going to try to do something, maybe pick off that last No, they're not going to pick that SCV off, but I feel like Spear's definitely going to get this cancel, and EnDerr can't really push back. He can't say no units at your home. I'll push. There's just solid wall, man.
Yeah. We're talking 13 Marines out on the map versus 11 Zerglings. Not something you really see, but we also did have a reactor and a tech lab finishing up on those racks. And oh, the Zerglings, they are going to get in at the opportune moment. This is their chance to do some damage. This is their chance to actually make something happen in the natural of Spear.
Yep. Taking out 3-4 SCVs now, actually getting a lot of damage done. 7 SCVs here. They doesn't look like they're actually going to get a scout into the main. Marines now coming in. Supply depots are up, and they'll get another SCV, but these Marines will pretty solidly clear them up. Now, the one tell in the main would be to maybe to scout this double engineering bay. Obviously, 125 mineral, obviously 250 minerals. It's not a huge investment, but definitely if he would have scouted that in, he can, he knows that one, or actually, he doesn't know 1-1's coming. A lot of things out of that, but he does have an idea. This is probably going to go pretty heavy just into the Marines, and I love the Hellion coming along with this fight, just to have a little bit of area effect damage. And the entire army of EnDerr really is out of position here. We see only one Spore Crawler, even at the natural, no Banelings yet. This is looking really, really scary for EnDerr, especially if 1-1 finishes and Spear's still on this side of the map. It's not going to be a pretty sight.
Now we do have 12 roaches, well 13 roaches on the production tab. Stim won't quite be finished up for this first part of the battle, but there's of course no medevacs anywhere near these Marines. So depending on how they choose to engage with the roaches, this could go very poorly for our Terran player. But I love that. Just cancel the third, move away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, canceling that's all you want to do as a Terran in this position. You need to get some early game damage in ZBT done, and he's done exactly that. Cancel the third twice. And off the back of this, Spear right now, he does have double refinery, so he's going to get a lot of gas. He will be going for a starport to get that medevac up, but if he needs to, he does have one barracks with the tech lab, so he's the option to get some marauders out to deal with these roaches that are moving across the map now. And Spear did spot them and is pulling back on the left-hand side, kind of doing a counter move here, moving some Hellions in to see what they can get done, and there's literally nothing at home. These roaches are all that EnDerr has at the moment, except for 14 Lings coming out, but I mean, there's so many Marines at home, especially the Stim almost complete.
Yeah. As long as these Marines have this wall, they're going to fare so much better against the roaches than on open warfare. Even the reinforcing roaches getting caught out by the Hellions. Now the Lings potentially could go for a surround, but this is quite a few Hellions out roaming around.
Yeah, and these Lings being all sent to the other side of the map. I do like this, though, from Spear. He knows he doesn't have that much, or sorry, EnDerr knows he doesn't have that much home, and actually leads the Hellions into these roaches. Hellions will have to kind of move around, and I doubt these roaches will kill anything here, but maybe, oh, wait, there may be a surround. Very nice surround from EnDerr with these Lings getting left-hand side. Roaches engaging, taking out, Lings actually haven't taken out anything yet, but it's given the opportunity for these roaches to get into a nice position, but they are slow roaches, and looks like they will take out 3 or 4 Hellions at the end of that. I love that position right there from EnDerr, getting as much damage as he can done while he has map control.
Yeah, very nice move there. Was able to clean off a lot of those Hellions like you were talking about. Didn't quite get all of them as he would have wanted to, but we got lots of drones on the production tab. Finally, that third base is established for EnDerr. It's maybe not the third base that he wanted to take, but at least he's finally got that down.
Yeah, and these Hellions kiting for so long, they will be taken out, but I mean, one Hellion had 1 HP, the 2 HP Hellion is gone, and now all the Hellions are cleaned up. Spear basically has no map control, but off the back of this, throwing on 3 more barracks, and I mean, his third base, as we were saying, he got that up so early. He has fantastic macro, and when he wants to move out, it's going to be really scary, because I'm sure he's going to move out and expand. And on the same time, left-hand side, Spear going for that drop, as I've said before. One thing he really excels at is, not to be too cliche, but he's Korean, so he has amazing mic, or he has amazing, what is the word I'm looking for? He can multitask. Yes, thank you. Yeah. I knew it started with an M, but I couldn't quite get it there. But the drop is spotted by EnDerr. Let's see how he deals with this, especially with roaches near it.
Well, the first couple of drones are getting targeted down. The Spine Crawler is here for the defense, but these Lings and the roaches are forcing the pickup. Not actually a lot of units killed off there. Oh, those rocks were so close to being killed off, but they do still stand in the way.
Yeah, Spear picks up from that third and tries to go into the natural, but it will get taken out. But at the same time, Spear salvages all his bunkers and is pushing across the map with 4 medevacs. Very nice in this lovely Bioforce. Spear just working on this base right now. He does have enough Marauders. I think he actually, yes, this entire army, this Roach army has to be pushed back. On the other side, a little bit of harassment at this third, but it will be cleaned up pretty much.
The Banelings are going to be oh so important. Baneling speed just now finishing. They're on creep, and there's the big pickup, the hot pickup to escape with the majority of these units, but quite a bit of the Terran bio did end up going down to the medevacs, are being left on the wrong side of the map, which is a little bit unfortunate, but in the natural expansion, we finally see that drone damage being done. Spear is starting to make that economic headway.
Yeah, I really like this from EnDerr, just waiting so long to get those Banelings out. Now, actually, GG, Spear takes game 1. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second game of the Grand Finals for Challenger League on merry-go-round in the 1 o'clock position. We have representing Dust Gaming, the Korean Terran player, Spear.
And in the southern position, our red Zerg, losing game number 1, but he is from Storm Gaming. He is EnDerr.
In this game, definitely both players kind of like, yeah, no, we're not going to cheese. Don't worry about that. Both playing very macro, and we actually see from EnDerr going to the middle of the map before he veers off. I mean, he thinks Spear is going to do something here, but as we see from Spear, he does go CC first. Now, both players playing economically, but EnDerr may have a little bit of a chance if he pumps out Lings right as it comes out and gets that Ling speed. He may be able to make something happen, but I doubt it for now. Both players pretty much heading into the, I don't want to say mid-game, but almost mid-game, just purely economic and playing standard.
Yeah, Hatch Gas Pool versus CC first on the low ground, like you were saying. Potentially he could do some damage, but he really isn't going to have very many opportunities. There is potentially some places for Lings to swing in, and of course that's where Spear has to be very careful about his wall in and about his unit control there. But is like the best scenario he forces the lift off of the CC at the natural?
I feel like that would be the best scenario. Obviously, you can't kill it. It's Lings unless he's just being an idiot here. And the one time you'd be able to get it is maybe when the orbital command's going down, but even then you just cancel it, lift it up. I don't think that's going to happen. And especially going barracks right into factory, probably going to see some 1-1-1. I don't know if we'll see a Banshee, something like that, but I mean, he's definitely going to he's going to be prepared for any aggression that's coming out after this little bit of a, not greedy, but economic build.
Yeah, I mean, CC on the low ground is one of those things that can very quickly, if you're someone like Bomber, turn into triple CC, extremely greedy play, and like you were talking about, right now it's not necessarily quite that, but it is certainly economy-focused. SCV is going to be moving out for the scout, but it will be spotted by those Lings at the watchtower, and they're not going to actually give chase.
Yeah, interestingly enough, neither player has scouted each other at all. They both could be doing something crazy, but neither so far. We are seeing the 1-1-1 build finally being initiated, I guess, by Spear, getting down that starport and going for Hellions now. Very, very standard in TVZ right now, trying to get some early damage done. But for EnDerr, he's got double Queen out and 20 Lings on the way with speed almost being done. He's going for this aggression. I don't think he needs to worry about these Hellions right here. It's got to be Spears needs to worry about how he's going to deal with 20 Speedlings. Yeah.
It's so imperative that Spear finds out that this is coming, but really the best way for him to do that is his Hellions, and then of course if he does figure out this is coming, his Hellions are almost certainly going to be taking damage, if not completely forfeit. He does see a fair amount of Lings, so we'll see how he deals with this, but he most likely will lose at least some SCVs.
Yeah, SCV's trying to go up into the main. There is supply depot goes down only then. Hellions are obviously behind that wall. These Lings can't do that, but they will go for these supply depots. And if they can actually get all these supply depots, this will be huge. 4 Hellions starting to work on them. 1 supply depot go down. 2 actually. The third one wasn't finished yet. And will they get this other supply depot? That's going to be huge right now. Obviously, only the Hellions out, but that's all 11. Supply depot is down. Lings getting into the main. A Banshee coming out for Spear, but I mean that was so much damage done right there. He only lost 6 workers actually, but 2 supply depots worth of stuff. That pretty heavily supply blocked him. He is on supply block now, but that has given the opportunity for EnDerr to go out, take a third, and he's looking good. My only worry is for this Banshee coming, but Cloak is not done. It still has got about 90 seconds left, and I think EnDerr's going to be okay here. I think he's actually played this out incredibly well, but ooh, this Queen's got to be careful.
EnDerr does have Spore Crawlers starting, like you were talking about. That Queen needs to watch herself before these Hellions completely wreck her. And, I mean, this Banshee is coming in. He needs to do some damage. He was severely supply blocked, like you were talking about. Killing off a Queen is a nice start. Even forcing the cancel on the Spore Crawler may end up happening, which is another nice move there for Spear.
I don't know if it's maybe too greedy for EnDerr. I don't want to say greedy, but he went for Lair and for the third at the same time, where he did get damage done. But I'm wondering maybe that is a little bit too greedy for him after he did that damage. He is pulling these Lings back, but these Hellions should, a little bit of micro, be fine, especially with this Banshee. I mean, you got to think as a Ling, you're like, come on, man, why wasn't I made to shoot up? Ugh.
Why wasn't I made to be able to jump up like a motorcycle and just smash into that helicopter? But
I mean, why not? Why not? We do see the creep spread, though, for EnDerr just starting. As you were saying, he's really got to keep that going. And with two queens, he did lose that first queen. Obviously, that would have been nice for him, but he's starting to get that creep spread going. And he's pretty much opening a lot of avenues for himself to go up into. He's gone into Lair, getting Baneling, or getting a Baneling nest. I'm guessing he's going for Baneling speed and pretty normal Ling Baneling. For now, at least, he is only on 2 gas, so it's looking a little scary, but I think he should be fine here. But these Hellions are moving in. He doesn't have the army out yet that he wants to defend.
And these Hellions, the armory is done. They transform into Hellbats. Here's the Lings coming in for, well, they were going to try to go for us around. These drones do need to be pulled. They are going to be very close. Oh, he does manage to save some of the drones, but they are pulled off to the side there. This third hatch, if it goes down, it'll be triple orbital soon versus just double hatch as a Zerg, and that is not a comfortable situation.
Yeah, these queens desperately trying to push back these Hellions right now, or the Hellbats. Third goes down, did save a couple drones now, but these Banelings have to hit really nicely and actually get decent, but, I mean, taking out the entire amount of Banelings, and both Banshees get away. And both of them actually, or at least one of them, at decent cloak level. They could go in and maybe try to pick off one of these queens. There's a Spore Crawler there, but interesting right there. I mean, EnDerr, I feel like, I don't want to say it was greedy, but he definitely a little bit overextended with going for Lair and that third hatch while he did not. I mean, all his Lings were gone. All of them were sacrificed into that damage, and I think maybe, I mean, the game's been evened up even though he got so much early damage done with that run-in.
Yeah, any sort of big advantage that he maybe had, like you were talking about, did even up. I mean, the resources lost tab tells part of that story. The triple orbital tells another part of that story. And of course, this Terran player upgrading, he's going to be maybe a little bit behind in the fact that we do have the +1/+1 on the way for our Zerg. But the army supply is just so much better for our Terran player.
Yeah, and especially for Spear, really interesting what he's doing. He's actually going for double factory. And I feel like what was going on in his mind, and he says, okay, I've thrown my opponent back, and, I mean, he hasn't actually got a scout into the main, even with the queens. He hasn't spotted that second gas, and he saw the Lair, though, and I feel like maybe he thinks the Spire's coming out of this while Infestation Pit is, I mean, maybe you can Thor Rush, but I feel like it's a very risky move unless he's practiced this a lot. Or not a Thor Rush, but maybe he could mix them into this army.
Well, I mean, he is going for a mech composition, so those Thors going to be very important just in case we end up seeing mutas, but it is going to be straight into the Infestation Pit for EnDerr. If he's got his, spider sense tingling, he's figured out, I mean, he saw the triple factory at some point or another, so he can be pretty sure it's going into mech. And then, of course, Infestation Pit, woo, there we go, and during Locust, it's Swarm Host time!
I feel like for Spear, you'd more often see them go into tanks against this, but I get... we do this. Sorry, what was I trying to say? The Swarm Host. Now, maybe the Thors, he's tried this before versus something Swarm Host. Now, obviously, I don't think he actually knows his opponent is going Swarm Host, but I still think this is kind of a wonky composition for Spear. Some Banelings nice on the right-hand side of this map will move in, but with this amazing creep, as you were saying, Spear started to deny it with so many Hellions, but he cannot afford another scan right now since he's only on 2 base. A lot of Queens are actually 4, but, I mean, these Hellions are actually, these drones are going to get roasted. Hellions moving back, and they barely did not spawn see this one Swarm Host. He's got to be so careful not to show these. Banelings did move into the third base of Spear, will be cleaned up. And during Locust, as you were saying, is about halfway done. And we do see the one nice thing for Spear right here is he's still producing Hellions, and that's going to help him a little bit, but I still feel like Siege Tanks may have been the better option in this position, but doing Siege Tanks is kind of, okay, I'm saying that I'm going to hang out right here, and you're going to stay there, and we're just going to siege each other up for a while.
The other thing that you can do with Siege Tanks is, like plant them around your third base, protect them from Ling run-bys, as we did see 15 SCVs getting cleaned up There's a scan going down. He definitely knows that it's Swarm Host, as he did see the infestation pit a little while ago, but he wasn't, necessarily knowing for 100% that's what the choice was. Thor's going to be moving forward, of course, with Banshee support. He is going to be able to take down a lot of this army, but the Thors, some of them are packed up in the back. He's not moving forward with all of his army.
I would have rather had these Swarmos stay where they were and get off another round of Locust because there is no Raven. Yes, there's scans, but none for that. Big Baneling hits move in, take out some SCVs actually, and a lot of these Hellions. Locust moving on the right-hand side, taking out these Thors. There is enough Queens here. They can transfuse each other, and does lose one, actually lose a third one. These Banshees wreaking havoc on the army of EnDerr, and EnDerr literally, I mean, he does not have Roach Warren, he does not have Hydralisk Den. These Banshees are so hard to deal with, but the ground army pretty much entirely pushed off, except for we got one Viking, and I love when you see this out of Terran, just putting in one Viking, and it's going to gradually clean up a lot of these Overlords, and looking pretty scary for EnDerr just how he's actually going to defend off this harass.
Yeah, he did push that attack back. The Remax, or not the Remax, I need to stop using that term incorrectly, but the rebuild of units was just 10 lings. The eco of EnDerr is not very high, but he is floating a lot of that minerals and gas. He's just not really able to produce that much with it.
Yeah, EnDerr's definitely thinking here, okay, he's on my back. What is the best defense? The best defense is a good offense, but we see EnDerr actually move that Spore Crawler to defend these Swarm Hosts, and it's kind of caught between two Spore Crawlers. We'll take out one. Finally, Overseer is up, but these Banshees have done a lot of damage. And again, from EnDerr, I mean, he's really trying to bank off the best defense, good offense, but he just can't push that much out now. He's lost so many Queens.
Yeah, he was trying to go for that defense, or that offense as defense like you were talking about, but again, those Banshees pushing out so much damage. Even his Banelings in his literal defense, EnDerr just wasn't able to get fantastic hits. He was letting them impact against Thors, and really, the Swarm Hosts are the only thing keeping him in this game. He will be able to push back the Hellions, but we've got a 4th command center on the way, and our 3rd for the Zerg technically isn't saturated. He's keep having to resaturate it, everything goes down. He resaturates it, everything goes down.
Yeah, I think definitely EnDerr needs to make something sneaky happen here, maybe taking a ninja base, but for now, I mean, Locust's moving out, they can't touch the army of Spear, but Spear's finally getting these siege tanks up, and I thought it was a great transition. The 3rd base, though, is going to get hit again by a lot of these Hellions, and so many drones going down so far. It has been 49 drones killed, and I mean, the Hellions even getting out. Oh, actually, will they get out? Oh, barely, yeah, they barely will get out now. And a scan going down in the middle of the army, and these Swarmos got to be very careful to get out of this scan range.
Yep, there is just nothing on the anti-air tab, or almost nothing on the anti-air tab for EnDerr. He's got so little that shoots up, despite the fact that these Banshees have been pushing out so much damage against him. He's got the odd Spore Crawler here and there, but he can't quite... Wow, those Banelings.
Banelings in the natural base right there.
An additional 7 SCV killed there, up to 10 now, and... Ooh, the Infestation Pit is going to go down.
The one nice thing here is he did get that Enduring Locust up, but I was going to say he had a 1,200 gas bank, and he's going to spend these on Infestors. I mean, I don't know if Hydralisk would be a good idea, maybe a little bit. They would not be good versus the mech, but you need something that shoots up, and deciding to go Infestors. Now, I mean, you can get a nice angle, but it's going to be very, very gimmicky. If he does not make it, he will lose, and right now he's going to lose so many drones if these Banshees stay, but they're actually deciding to pull back for now. Actually, never mind, take that back. Are going to go into that drone line. And finally, Infestors are out with some nice fungals.
There we go. Yeah, these Banshees being a little bit indecisive, and they decided to stay eventually, as you were saying, but those Infestors cleaning them up entirely. The other kind of point of this game, which has been pretty darn important as 17 drones go down, is these upgrades. We've got 2-1 on our mech versus the 1-1, but we've got the +3 mech weapon attack going to be coming up for Spear. He's going to be at a serious upgrade advantage very soon.
Yeah, and also key right now for EnDerr when he's defending this is, yes, he has 1,000 mineral, or 1,000 gas, but the Infestation Pit was killed, so he only has these 3 Infestors for now, and they gotta be so good. 1 fungal growth goes down, some infested Terran, and these Locusts on the left-hand side, but Siege Tanks are finally down and doing a lot of damage, and a Raven, actually, to boot. Throwing down a point defense drone.
Yeah.
GG.
3, the ASL Challenger League Finals Best of 9. Spawning in the northern position on Bonnie Research Station from Dust Gaming. Our red Terran player up 2-0. This is Spear.
And his opponent, currently down 2 games and hoping to make something happen on Bonnie Research Station. Playing the blue Zerg representing Storm Gaming, it is EnDerr. And I mean, as I was saying, this is more than merry-go-round. This is the optimal map to do Swarmhouse to Zerg at the moment. But I'm not sure if we're going to see that out of him for now. Both players, neither player being too aggressive. And there is doing the pool before hatch, though, so we'll have to see how that pays out for him. But there is the pocket natural, so.
I mean, yeah, gas pool before hatch for EnDerr, and then CC, of course, on that low ground because it's an in-base natural, like you were talking about, and then into gas. So this barracks is going to be very late. But, like you were talking about, it wasn't an early pool or anything like that. Or it wasn't a super early pool, I should say.
Yeah, I assume we're going to see, maybe not, I kind of want to say another 1-1-1 build out of Spear, because he did go CC first, and then he took gas, and then went for the rack. So, I mean, it's not like you're pushing out Reapers or anything off of that. And, yeah, a little bit different.
If so, he's looking to push out a lot of Reapers. But, like you were saying, more likely is going to be that 1-1-1. I mean, anything's possible. Anything is possible.
If he did want to push out a lot of Reapers, he'd need a second barracks or a quick reactor. He'd want to throw down like a second racks before that rack's finished to start a reactor on that to then start pushing out double refinery or start both racks at the same time after the CC.
I was trying to be silly. You're like actually making sense.
Oh, okay. I thought you were legitimately like, I mean, you could, and I'm like, I mean, not really unless they're like planning to save up 1,000 gas. Sorry about that. I guess that happens.
There's the phrase, if it's stupid and it works, then it's not stupid. Maybe this is one of those situations. But what's not stupid...
He's going to factory.
Look, what's not stupid and what does work is taking your natural at kind of that quote-unquote third base on this map. That has worked in the past for Zerg players. And, I mean, that's what EnDerr's doing. He is down 2 games, but it is a best of 9. He does have that opportunity for a comeback. And, I mean, even if he loses this game, he's still got that chance.
Yeah, this third base is natural. You not only can be aggressive, but especially with double queen, you can defend it for a while, and then maybe not take a really quick third, but if your opponent's being overly aggressive, not so much in ZVT, but now the other ones you can say, okay, I'm going to take this third back here, and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. Gives you that nice... well, potential advantage. We'll have to see how quickly the third CC gets added on. Like you were talking about, it is going to be that 2-base 1-1-1 for our Terran player. He has not started the tech lab. Excuse me, he has not started the tech lab just yet. We'll see if he decides to add that on for some Banshee play. But for now, it's going to be into Widow Mines and Hellions.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like this little switch up here, going for the double Hellion just for the beginning to see what he can see. And he's actually going to scout off the third. I'm guessing he's going to know his opponent took this as the natural because of how many drones at it, but actually not even scouting it and going up into the main off this. Ooh, drones might catch it.
Wow.
We'll get a beautiful burn. I mean, that also happens.
Oh, a couple more of these drones could go down. It's only 2 so far, and these Hellions should drop down into the natural just to confirm what you were saying. I mean, he can be reasonably sure is how EnDerr opened up, but you always want to confirm those things.
Yeah, Spear will take out this Overlord. I thought I was going to burrow this one Widow Mine, but I actually didn't. I was like, that'd be so funny if he burrows the Widow Mine to get the shot off and like, screw you! But looks like loading up a medevac now. He did switch the factory for that barracks. That's where we saw in game 1 all the lings of EnDerr get in. But I mean, as I was saying, he can be aggressive off this base, or he can have the Hellion just like run in, and now all his units have been pulled back. But he actually may be able to defend a little better with the units in his base.
That is true. We do have the third CC also going down, which will be part of that game plan for Spear. He is adding on the extra racks. He's not going mech once again. It is going to be more of that bio composition, but he's going to be so disappointed because there's nothing for his Widow Mine. Well, there's no drones for his Widow Mine to kill, but that's actually a really nice position on this Widow Mine. It could eat a lot of shots. Oh, EnDerr.
Oh,
beautiful.
Friendly fire. A very beautiful link sent down. We'll get some friendly fire onto these Marines. Marines can't do anything about 3 queens. We'll have to pull out, but we still have that Widow Mine hanging about. And no Overseers into Lair, which is not, I mean, it's not anywhere near here yet.
Yeah. Oh, Those nice little moves by Spear, actually able to just kill off one of the... Oh, nice pickup there!
Oh.
Kills an Overlord, picks up the Widow Mine as well. Spear is on top of it.
That's what I'm always saying. People are like, oh, well, I mean, he's Korean. Doesn't necessarily mean he's good. Like, no. That's what I mean when I'm like, he's Korean. Like, he's like, oh, hey, saves this, and we'll pull out another Overlord, and will this Widow Mine get... Yes! That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him drop that really quickly and then pick it up, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. We do see some Lings, though, at the third base of Spear, which will prohibit him for a little bit, but no burrow or anything, so...
Yeah, he's going to be minorly annoyed. Actually, I wonder if these Lings will end up getting cleaned up before the orbital really gets over there. This Viking out hunting for Overlords like you were talking about, that's such a great move. I believe Pult is the one that kind of was famous for doing that. But in this case, it is going to be a nice just push away of those Overlords. We've also got 10 drones on the production tab. Lots of eco.
Yeah, lots of economy coming for EnDerr. I feel like he wants to get up a strong mid-game economy, and I don't want to say Infest, or I don't want to say Swarm Host. I don't necessarily think that, but definitely is going to be a big push once he makes it happen. But we see a lot of Hellions here. Oh, Banelings may actually be able to push this back. The Widow Mine is going to only be burrowed now. Will that Widow Mine get down? Doesn't look like it. Banelings, big hits, getting rid of Marines, but actually not quite good enough. Oh, beautiful. Get rid of that one, It got rid of that medevac. And one big thing with that medevac, though, is it's still the Widow Mine, so a lot of really annoying things can happen with it, but it will be gone. I think it always says got rids, and then I realized it afterwards, like, wait, I can't really... It got rids of it, bros. Got rids.
Hopefully... So, the thing about lots of Hellions is there's like a slim chance that EnDerr ends up thinking that it's mech. He shouldn't, but there's that very slim chance. And of course, with him knowing that it's bio, most likely won't be looking for those Swarm Hosts like you were talking about. Although this map can be very good for Swarm Hosts, the Muta play is going to be the choice. And of course, it's Ling, Bane, Muta as the composition.
And I think Muta is going to be great just because it's hard to attack the pocket base, but right now in the natural, we see Spear on the move here. Baneling's moving in, actually going for that bio, take out a few Hellbats, but only 2 Queens left to defend. The bio of Spear moving forward. There is stim and combat shields done, so this is very, very scary. Baneling's still trying to hit on a nice angle, but I mean, just not even a split, literally just like moving back and keep shooting with these Hellbats, and this is looking really scary for EnDerr. We do see 20 more Lings out, and Baneling's speed Inspire about 30 seconds away.
This is not quite as close of a finals as I would have thought. These first 3 games have been just wholly on Spear's advantage.
Yeah.
In this particular case, leading 40 army supply at this point. The run by at the third with Lings didn't do very much against Spear, and even this drop in the natural doing crazy good damage.
Gee. Hello everyone and welcome back to Game 4 on Foxtrot. In the bottom left-hand spot position, playing for Dust Gaming. It is the Blue Terran, currently up 3 games, looking for a 4th game, Spear.
And in that top right position, spawning our red Zerg player representing Psystorm Gaming. He needs your cheers. He needs to start the comeback. This is EnDerr.
We, as always, I say we need the clap effect for like as a live studio audience. We have a little thing in the top left-hand corner like this StarCraft is filmed in front of a live studio audience. But Spear, I mean, he's feeling confident. 3 games up. Like even if I lose a game, it's cool. But I feel confident enough, anyways. Double proxy barracks.
Well, it's technically proxy, but that is so far away. I mean, I guess he's got a good position that it won't be scouted, but
it actually might be scouted. I was like, wait, this overload might see it. They're gonna hit before it though. Bunker down.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of checking for proxies by EnDerr, so he was, trying to do the right thing, but in the end it just...
The right thing. Yeah, a little devil on each shoulder is like, don't check for proxies! Check for proxies!
You need the income.
Go down. Yeah, I need to, I need the 1 SCV drone income. Come on, guys. 4 Lings out, though. 2 more on the way. Queen out. Metabolic, actually, drones being pulled. This is really what it needs to do here, especially when 3 Marines are out. Now he needs these Lings to stay alive just a little while to have that just extra attack speed that Lings have. But drones, come on, do something!
Oh no! Oh! This is not necessarily the best opener that you want. Even going to be stutter-stepping backwards towards the bunker.
Spear's not even running into the bunker.
Ow. There we go. 8 drones, so many lings as well. Also going down, 8 drones, 8 lings, 12 larvae. Oh, even a queen. Wow.
For a second, I thought Spear salvaged that bunker, and I was like, dang, he's like, oh, I got this, guys. Like, this is it, man. I don't even need a bunker. But yeah, he's trying to hold on. He's pushed EnDerr completely back. Metabolic boost is done now, and there is 15 lings. So this is going to be scary. 1 queen out, though, and he desperately needs that second queen. If he gets up the natural to be able to start creep spread, start something, he needs that extra energy, but Ling's chasing it down.
Lings get a really nice surround here as they are able to lock down a lot of those Marines, and that's how, 15 Lings take down 10 Marines with a bunker. You get that perfect surround like that. Well played by EnDerr.
Yeah, now for Spear, both Bracks on the way back, and off the back of this... Ooh, that kind of rhymed almost. I wish it would have rhymed. But off the back of this, we see the natural base for Spear coming down, and Ling's coming across for EnDerr. Speed is done now, but I mean, if he gets these 2 Marines inside and this supply depot up, he's going to be okay.
Yep, he's going to be completely safe as far as that goes. There's another SCV heading way out into a interesting position. The Lings do get pushed back, as you were saying. Where's that SCV going?
He's just saying hi. He's going to the other base. Like, hey guys, what's up, man? What's up?
He's going for that late scout. We'll actually barely see the Lings there. I guess the Lings aren't going to turn around to clean it up.
Is like a late Reaper? Is that a late Reaper like attack, or is that just an incredibly late Reaper? Is that a late SCV scout, or is that just him being like, oh hey, throw an SCV over there?
I mean, he's going to actually get a complete scout off, despite the fact that so many of these Lings are out. And yeah, that's the next point. Is like, well, what do you do after you put on some pressure like that and lose all your Marines? Double CC.
Yeah, it is currently, for Spear, he has 6 more workers. Not a ton, but I mean, it's going to start boosting. Even if he's... I was going to say if he stays on 1 base, but even if he stays on 2 base, man, 3 SCVs at a time, he's going to be mining out his natural like crazy. Baneling Nest is coming down for EnDerr. Now, this has been forced out because he's in a scary position. Like, do I be a little greedy? Do I get out my army? But I think this is exactly what he needs to do, because in the previous games, his nests... Actually, his Banelings weren't too late. His Baneling Nests weren't too late, but he just so long not getting Banelings, and I think that's really vital. He needs to get up his tech earlier. And even though it's kind of been forced out, I think this is a little bit of a start to something. We may see something here.
We're certainly going to see something. We'll have to see exactly what that something is, as this is probably like the least descriptive way to talk. At any rate, we've got the double factory.
Something's happening, guys.
Finishing up. Something's always happening.
Things happening. Things.
So my kind of question is, are we going to see more of a mech committal, or are we going to see more of a bio committal from our Terran player? Because both ways have turned out well for him in the past.
I could actually see from him like Hellbat Marine right here. He does have a reactor onto that other factory, so I'm assuming maybe Hellbat Marine, maybe like a Widowmine. But I love this from Spear, getting supply depot and the bunker. He knows his opponent is very far behind, and really, if his opponent wants to make something happen, he's got to get damage done right now, and he's defending that. Or he's prepared to defend it.
Oh! And this Overlord is going to supply block our Zerg player. There's Overlords on the production tab, but that's so annoying.
Yeah, Infernal Pre-Igniters starting for Spear. And these Helens are going to be dangerous, and I think he's exactly going for that. Going for a Marine... Marine Hellbat with Stim, which is going to be even better, and double Engineering Bay going to the back of Spear's base. So upgrades will be on the way, and it's going to be a scary force to deal with.
So we've got 40 SCVs versus now 40 drones. Like you were talking about, Spear has had just a very slight income advantage in terms of workers, but he's also got the triple orbital, those mules getting called down. As you were mentioning, we're starting to actually see the effects of that with Spear leading in the income tab. And with they're both going double upgrades, I mean, Spear is actually going to be slightly behind.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, from EnDerr, I'm liking this position more and more. Even though it took him early damage, it scared him, and that's what he needed to do. So, okay, I need to get defense up. I need to be a little bit maybe greedy, and I think he's playing this out well. 1-1 upgrades on the way. Now, the key is this. I mean, this push is coming out right now. Now he has nothing. Like you were saying before, is literally kind of, well, you had the tech, you just, units weren't there. So we're going to see how he's going to make these units.
Now, the one thing that I suppose is missing from Spear's lineup, I believe, is the armory. So he's not going to quite have those Hellbats, which is maybe a little bit unfortunate, but, oh, these drones are in a very dangerous position.
Oh, decent, actually, Baneling hits for now. Decent Baneling hit, one queen left, another queen died, but, this queen actually going for a transfuse, sorry, not a transfuse, inject. Perfect timing, but these Hellions are going to wreak havoc onto this third base. Baneling's trying to come in for the natural.
There we go. Those drones are starting to get eliminated, and like you were talking about, the Banelings are coming into the natural. They're morphing in the natural, but they're so far away. This army's starting to move towards them.
Oh, wait,
the Hellions.
Oh. Whew. For a second there, while that army was on the ramp, that would have been exactly what he needed. And Sim is finishing now, and +1/1. Obviously, Hellions won't be good for Hellions, but we see more barracks being added on, or actually we saw one more barracks added on.
Yeah, the armory nearly going to be finishing. He wants to keep these Hellions alive so he can eventually transform them into Hellbats. We've, of course, got that +1 almost finishing up for both players, like you were mentioning. But it's going to be, like, minutely faster for our Zerg player. Lair is going to be the follow-up. He's going for some sort of 3-base play. What exactly it will be, he has kind of favored Mutalisks. Or yeah, he's favored trying to get Mutalisks.
Yes, yeah. He's definitely favored trying to get Mutalisks, and Lair is on the way. That's a possibility, but he's been so low on drones for the entire thing from getting hit early on that he's even only on 2 gas, which you just can't push out Mutalisks from here. I feel like he's got to make something happen with these Baneling Ling, and for that, he wants good creep spread, but actually he's producing queens like crazy now. But just before this, it was really kind of looking scary because he lost 2 queens on that, and he needs those injects and that creep spread to really make this Baneling Ling work.
So the question for me is, once again we're seeing the huge army supply lead for Terran, even bigger than we see in sort of this stage of the game a lot of the time. But is this just going to come down to the same thing of games 2, 3, and I guess this is game 4, but games 2 and 3 there where it's like he just doesn't have any units. I mean, there's the Spire, but this push out, it could end the game.
Yeah, each time Spear moving out around like the 13 to 15 minute mark, and really when his opponent was tech switching. His opponent's like, okay, I'm going to make this big tech switch and surprise you. But I don't know if it's going to happen. Literally, all his Lings going to Banelings. We see 24 more Lings coming out, but this arm is looking scarily. Only 1 queen, or 2 queens, no spine crawlers, and EnDerr is trying to prepare for a big attack here. Maybe we can get on the right-hand side with these Marines, but it's looking scary.
There's a scan just to push this creep even further back. Can he split against the Banelings? They're on creep, of course, but they don't quite have speed just yet. Reasonable splits. He does actually pull a lot of these units back, but the Lings are trying to finish up what's left.
Hellbat's still working on that third base, though. Even more drones going down. So far, 23 drones going down. No queens to defend, and still 2 medevacs. I mean, you gotta remember, even though they're Hellbats, they're biological units. Even though they're basically Jeeps, someone's alive in there. Surprisingly enough, that's all pushed back, but after a loss of 24 workers, and I mean, he's just regrouping for another attack.
Fortunately, these new medevacs actually have energy. As you were mentioning, the current medevacs are just so low on energy because they've been healing so many units. Banelings are going to be getting attacked here as they're trying to morph in, but if they're able to finish, those are some nice hits. Some much better hits than we were seeing earlier, but he doesn't have the units left to finish off the weakened Hellbats.
Yeah, EnDerr finally, Spire is done, but so much gas put in those Banelings, he cannot use it in big things. Like you were saying right there, he does not have the units to deal with any of this right here. 20 more Lings coming out, but GG. Spear takes game 4.
Alright guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that quick commercial break, but we have an 8 pool from our player in the bottom right corner, and of course this is game number 5. This is match point in the Challenger League ASL Finals Best of 9. Let's kick it off with our purple Zerg player representing Psystorm Gaming. This is EnDerr!
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner of Deadwing. Up currently 4 games, feeling good, feeling mighty fine. Actually, looks like he's going for a CC first. It is representing Dust Gaming, the Red Terran, Spear. Oh, he is doing that CC first, and Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna be really scared if like he defends off this 8 pool. Like if he like just defends off and like pushes back and wins, man.
Yeah, but it's cross map, Deadwing, and this is one of those things that we get to talk about lots. It's the meta play, because it's like, oh, it's Deadwing, 4-player map, 20 bases, it's a macro map. And then every, maybe one game in 20, you end up getting the situation where a guy's like, 20 bases? I only need 1.
That's really well put. I can't even bridge off that comment. That was just well put. But yeah, 6 lings heading into the natural for Spear. Barracks will not be anywhere near done, and this drone's like, I got this, guys, I can see, and it says good. It says good. Not going for the command center, I think that's a good idea, because I mean, yeah, he cancels it, but if it would have gone up, it would have just lifted up because it had enough time working.
Yep. The workers have been pulled, and it's all going to be coming down to the control for each player. There's the mineral walk from the SCVs. 2 of them have gone down, but this barracks is so close to getting finished. The workers are trying to body block. The lings are getting pushed away, and the barracks will finish.
Yeah, first Marines starting to try to get out. 2 lings left in the in the mains. 2 more lings coming on the way, but these SCVs may overwhelm whatever actually comes here. 7 workers have been killed, but sadly, it's 8-13. Spear still has more workers, even though he lost 7. I guess 8 now.
And now the first Marine is out, but it's going to get targeted down so quickly.
Oh, this is scary, man. Spear still has more workers, though. He's trying to get on here. I'd love to see actually a Reaper, because he does have 68 gas. We're not going to see that, I don't think, though. Getting out this Marine, we see more links coming out. Really key right here is if he can just get up this first Marine and get up a supply depot. He desperately needs a supply depot right there just to stop the rest of these units, but he has to clean up these 2 first.
So many workers just losing mining time. We're going to have 8 lings once these 2 in the main join up with the 6 on the reinforcement path. And like you were saying, there's no supply depot there. There is 2 Marines, and it's going to be so key that Spear handles this well. And so far, he is pulling the workers.
Yeah, workers along with these 2 Marines, there's just enough of a wall, and there's 2 Marines, just enough DPS. They're actually going to, I think, actually completely push this off. Yes, they will. And so far, 13 workers have been lost, but it is 15-10. I mean, not too far behind for our Terran brethren here, Spear, and I mean, starting to mule, so it's kind of looking scary. It looks like he defended this off and is being in almost fine position.
I do not play enough to know what exact damage that an 8-pool needs to do against this sort of play, but like you were saying, it does seem to be an all-right position for Spear, but that worker lead is going to be what EnDerr was looking to secure, and of course from here, he has a bit of time to just drone up.
Yeah, I mean, really what that 8-pool has to do is it doesn't have to kill your opponent, but I mean, you need to get rid of that barracks. You need to focus that down. That's when you win that. In the economic damage, yes, the Zerg's going to be able to pump out 10, 15 drones at the same time, but combined with mules, actually, we do see a 12 drone lead right now for EnDerr because we see Spear moving out, but combined with mules, the Terran's really in a fine position, even if they're like 5 workers down, like he was.
So, if that is the case, and these guys are relatively even, based on the fact that it's 4-0, Spear is going to have the tremendous advantage. He's proved in the macro game, he's better than EnDerr. EnDerr, he's proved in the cheesy game. Yeah, let's move on. He's proved in the cheesy game, he's better than EnDerr. So, if these guys are even, then Spear is going to be feeling very good.
Yeah, and I'm still feeling confident on the evenness of this, maybe just because he hasn't gone as macro, or maybe because Spear was after that second command center was canceled. I mean, he does have to get some, not damage done, but definitely is a little bit easier to be aggressive here instead of going for a very late natural. And that's what he's doing. 2 Hellions and 4 Marines, and maybe even a bunker from this SCV.
Oh, please, drones, don't die in mass numbers, but 2 of them have gone down. Most of them do manage to escape into the main base. Oh, 9, 10 do go down. What worker lead were we talking about? I don't even know.
8 Roaches, though, coming out. Now, there is 1 SCV that can help this Hellion out, but, I mean, Roaches are actually going to sandwich these units beautifully, but it is now even up on the workers at the moment. It is 20-20, and that only ever favors the Terran or the Protoss. Doesn't matter what race it is against Zerg.
Of course, the one nice thing for our Zerg player is that he did, like you were talking about, deny that natural CC, and so the second base hasn't quite finished up. So as we're talking about, fully saturated one bases, this is potentially where our Zerg can take a bit of an advantage because he can instantly start resaturating in that natural.
One thing that you've also mentioned from that, though, is that in a lot of these games, literally, EnDerr didn't quite have units, but this time he has been forced to bring out these units like we saw in last game, which he almost won. And, I mean, that may compliment him here. He's got roaches on the other side of the map. Yes, these Hellions are cleaned up, a little bit of damage, but like you were saying, he's finally got out units, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to get out units.
2 Widow Mines at the top of that ramp. Will EnDerr just eat these shots completely? Well, no, he sends up 1 roach. Nice move there. Isn't going to be letting the splash damage do too much. I mean, he does lose the roaches, but again, that splash damage completely negated.
I mean, yeah, the alternate option is to lose all his roaches. Or actually not all his roaches, like 2/3 of the roaches. But we do see these Hellions moving out. No, actually not a great, deciding not to engage, going for his opponent. And off the back of this, EnDerr is saying, while he's got his opponent contained to 1 base, he's going for lair. And he is currently up just a couple workers. Actually, sorry, my bad. Spear's up just a couple workers.
Yes, Spear, I mean, he could end up losing a couple more workers here as these roaches find their way into the main base. They are going to take some shots at that, at the starport, as on the Remax, we do have those roaches taking some hefty shots from the Widow Mine. 7 workers have gone down, 8, and these roaches still have lots of HP left.
Yeah, these roaches doing so much damage, especially in close range. They do more damage in close range here. 16 in close combat, so ruining those SCVs right there. And it is now 35 drones of EnDerr to the only 10 of Spear. I mean, this has gone from us being like, okay, EnDerr's ahead, but not too great, to then Spear, wow, Spear's really ahead, and now back again that, no, Spear's really behind now.
Spear even tried a run-by with those 2 Hellions that escaped a little while before the roaches pushed into the main base. He tried a run-by with them. They were deflected quite nicely by EnDerr. He pushed them away with queens and roaches in the main. They didn't get any serious damage done. And like you were talking about, now EnDerr has secured himself a much more stable position. He's moving into that 3rd base. Like you mentioned, he already has the lair, so the Spire is on the way as well.
Yeah, Queen may be able to snipe one of these, and it does get sniped. They really won't do much, but these 2 Widow Mines actually may do something here. There's no Overseers burrowing right there, and come on! Yep, only getting rid of 2, actually. Those 2 killed. Not as crazy as you're thinking. 40 workers to the 20, and no Overseers being morphed in. So I guess a Spore Crawler, but I would assume an Overseer. Yeah. I mean, an Overseer, yeah, it's 50 gas, but yeah, there's one going down now. 3rd base is done, though.
Fortunately, one of those Widow Mines, like you were kind of referencing there, did end up eating a shot into the extractor, so it didn't do anything. And at least one of these Widow Mines will fire again. They both will, as maybe not fantastic
and the extractor
damage.
Again.
Yeah. Queens do clean them up. We do have, well, the attempt at the push-out. These roaches will spot it long before. The SCVs have been pulled. The boys have evacuated the main base, and there's, I think, literally 4 SCVs now inside of the main for Spear. It's all or nothing.
EnDerr lost his 2 roaches there that would have seen these SCVs, and I don't think he knows they're coming. Maybe he does. He's got 3 queens here. Trying to get on Spore Crawler, spots the Banshee in. 7 mutas coming out, though. If he can somehow kill these Marines, he'll be in a fine position. But these SCV are like, come on, hug me! Hug me!
I want to love you. This is so many queens going to be able to deal out some hefty DPS, but finally, the mutas have popped. They're going to get on top of these Marines, but they're not in great numbers right now. There we go.
Yeah! Come on, EnDerr. 4-1, EnDerr. Maybe something's gonna happen. Are we gonna see a 5-4? Is this too early to say like a hero comeback? But GG, EnDerr taking game 5. Cyber dancing. To Game 6 of ASL's Challenger League, and these are the finals. In the top right-hand spawn position of Overgrowth, it is representing Dust Gaming, the man who's proxy ratching. Proxy raxing. It is Spear. That completely threw everything off. Yes, yeah. SCD will get killed. Woo! Come on, EnDerr.
Wow.
Oh,
but
I introduced him.
In the southern position from Psystorm Gaming, he needs your cheers, but he's bringing it back. It's 1-4 for him. He is EnDerr!
EnDerr!
Yeah, this game immediately jumping into like 5th gear. They did not do their opening sort of gentleman's agreement of playing macro. This is that dirty, dirty cheese.
There was a great game in Challenger that I cast, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a TVZ, and neither player scouted each other, and then one player went Swarm Host, the other one went Mech, and like they never really like touched each other for the first probably 7 to 8 minutes of the game. Like, oh hey, what's up, man?
And then they both ended up just doing the perfect thing to what the other one was doing.
Yeah, they both just ended up countering each other. But we see out of Spear, he needs to get a barracks up. He canceled that original barracks. He's got a refinery down. But, I mean, I'm guessing he's going to go into a 1-1-1 build? I mean, I presume to try to hit some stim timing here.
Yeah, normally if you see the gas or the CC into gas, you're you know, sort of thinking it's going to be a 1-1-1, but all of the timings were just thrown off because it was that proxy. So it probably will be into the 1-1-1. We've seen that be effective for Spear in the past, well, in this very series. But into Roaches on one base for EnDerr, that's something we haven't quite seen in this series. Maybe
he'll make units this time. I was going to say, okay, obviously you're the pro player, but myself, I'd take like a natural base, get it up and running, then like, okay, I feel good. You know, 2 base economy, I'm fine with in any situation. But yeah, I mean, he's going to force out Roaches, and on one gas, maybe he thinks Spear is going all in, but he can't now because he does get a scout off into the main and sees everything. So interesting to point from him. I don't know, 6 Roaches. Maybe he's just going to go for the straight up rush. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, this potentially could do some pretty serious damage like you were talking about. The barracks did have to get canceled. The factory is on the way, so there's not a lot of units out. And, of course, that Overlord did end up seeing that. Oh, Spear, he does have the SCV going for the scout. He wants to confirm what his opponent is doing.
Yeah, coming in, we'll see the Roaches. Roaches will take it out. Perfect. And he's got advanced warning. Factory's down. We see instantly a bunker going down on the ramp, or next to the ramp at least. And perfect. He does have the reactor on this barracks. And maybe you're saying, oh, he wants a tech lab for Marauders. Well, there's no time for Marauders. He needs to get out these Marines, and double bunker going down. And a Widow Mine. This, I think he's actually had enough warning. Maybe he can hold it off.
To be fair, he did have almost literally as much warning as you can possibly have. The only way he could have any more warning is if he literally had a scout at the hatchery when the Roaches popped, but this is pretty darn good. The Widow Mine won't be finished up quite in time, but it's going to be pretty close to in time, and it could do some tremendous splash damage.
Roaches barely can't quite get through that little hole right there. They will pick off an SCV. Widow Mine going down, and Lings are out with Ling speed too, but this is looking really scary. What Spear he needs to get a couple more Marines out and get this now. Oh, actually salvaging it. Okay. I was going to say just need to get a couple more out and they'll be okay, but okay, he's making it a better position, Supply Depot. So full wall off now. No, Lings could have got in before with that little area.
We do have the tech lab added on to that starport. He's like, well, I guess Banshees would be pretty good in this situation. Again, that Widow Mine. Yeah, I mean, hey, they can't shoot up. Your opponent's stuff cannot shoot up. But that Widow Mine, well, now 2 Widow Mines going to be established at kind of that top of the ramp position. Going to be a very good defensive spot. The natural for EnDerr just now finishing up. He's got some drones already there, ready to mine away. And this soft contain is certainly delaying that fast CC.
Yeah, EnDerr finally getting his natural, and like you were saying, just denying his opponents the CC. He will get a little economic lead, but it's also forcing out a lot of units for Spear, and I'm kind of scared of the I don't want to say like the bounce back that's going to happen from Spear after he's been put into this defensive position.
Well, he does throw down a scan directly onto his opponent's main. He wants to try to get an idea of what his opponent is going for. Now, unfortunately, that scan didn't reveal very much. Of course, he didn't quite see at the natural. He doesn't quite know that that base is saturated, mining, and good to go.
Yeah, he did have a little bit of a scout on the creep from the back of that. I mean, you can guess the natural's down. But he's trying to get some damage at the natural done, hopefully. Cloak is about 2/3 of the way done, and a Banshee heading across, and looks like he's going to go into the Marine Siege Tank, which we haven't seen out of him that much, but I think it's really powerful.
It is one of those compositions that's old, and he's probably very well versed in. I mean, even going back to Wings of Liberty, this was pretty popular, had a lot of games on it, but Banshee is going to be poking into this natural expansion. The Spore Crawler is a little bit late on the production, but these 2 Queens are here to drive this Banshee away.
Yeah, it will be driven away. Actually, make it the extractor. That's a really interesting little thing he's gonna get right there. Especially going Bailey Nest after roaches. He needs that gas to keep going what he wants to do, and I think he actually does want to keep going his current composition because, as we've said before, he just needs units, and it actually may get pushed back, but Spear moving across the map.
Wow, this is being so annoying with this Banshee. The attacking force that you were talking about moving across the map, it is once again lots of Marines, a single tank, and a Widow Mine also going to be assisting in this. The rocks have already been knocked down by the Zerglings earlier on, but pretty much every single unit is here for EnDerr to defend. He's got pretty much very few units out on the map.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Banshee's so annoying to deal with, and it's kind of got him EnDerr out of position, but now he finally, okay, I know my opponent's out there, and he actually he actually was a little bit late on moving out because he knew he had to stop that siege tank, but it's not going to happen now. I think the bunker is up, and Banelings, though, may be able to make something happen.
Ooh.
Well,
he has to be so careful with the Widow Mine and the siege tank there. The splash damage can be absolutely insane. Ooh, catching a siege tank and some Marines out in the open. That's a nice cutoff of those reinforcements.
But he did lose a lot of Banelings for that. Now, I don't know if he knows this Widow Mine is here, and this Natural's getting shelled hard. Bunker is down, but Marines kind of hanging out here. There is no stim, though, or combat shields for these Marines, so pretty weak.
Yeah, EnDerr is making the best of a bad situation as Banelings do absolutely nothing. The siege tank starting to rain insane damage out onto these roaches as the Lings finally show up. They're a bit late to the party, and this position is holding, but can he continue? Oh, it looks like Spear will be pushed back.
I mean, but still, as you mentioned, these Banshees so hard to deal with, and the Spore Crawler's not up yet. They're going to wreak havoc at this natural base. So far, there's been 16 workers dead on the part of EnDerr, and 43-31 at the moment with Spear leading in those workers, even though he sacrificed a lot. I mean, as every Terran knows, your army's here is dead. You have an army already built back at home because of your great production, and that's what we see from him.
Yep. So that's a good way to put it because the main attack of Spear was held off, but of course these Banshees continue to have no answer. In game 2 or 3, they had no answer. On Merry-Go-Round, now on Overgrowth, they continue to have no answer. And Spear, I mean, he's just running away with this one.
Yeah, definitely. EnDerr will actually... Oh, he's actually going to lose another queen off the back of this inn. This Banshee's totally worth it. It spotted those mutas, obviously it did see the Spire, and I feel like in each game, as we mentioned before, it's kind of like EnDerr's been, okay, kind of gearing up for this tech switch, and almost always the muta, except for one map, and each time he hasn't quite made it. In the previous game, he made it and he won. The game before that he lost, he almost made it and he almost won, and I think maybe this isn't necessarily that he won, but he's gotten to the stage of the game where he's more comfortable.
If only he could have made it there a little bit stronger. In this case, Spear has done some nice damage, but EnDerr, like you were talking about, he's in his comfortable spot. If he can just engage well and just choose his battles wisely, he could definitely turn this situation around.
I like how he stopped the missile turret when the head of it hadn't quite opened up, so it was just kind of like this strange hover. It was just a strange model here. Ooh, 2 siege tanks a little bit out of position, but sadly only 4 mutas. Can't really deal with that, especially with the Marines. Centrifugal hooks on the way, and EnDerr just, planning to go Baneling muta, but he does not have a third base, and a Widow Mine is burrowed at that, and he needs that production to make it work.
Very true. Once again, this army moving out. Lots of Marines, a couple of siege tanks mixed in. Lings are on the production tab, which are going to be essential to stop this, but this is so many units. We're talking 50 army supply that's going to be hitting with 1-1 upgrades against unupgraded Zerg units, and of course, it's going to be 3 CC on the back end versus just the 2 hatcheries.
As you mentioned, 1-1 finishing right as he attacked in, as we've said in moving out of the 14 to 16 minute mark, and that's where he's hitting now. Lings on there, sorry, Muta's on the other side of the map for EnDerr, but out of position. Siege tank siege up, a nice scan, cleaning up as much creep as he can. It's exactly what he wants to do. The one thing that'll work well for EnDerr is if he gets a lot of Baneling hits going in, but I don't know if we're going to see that, and we actually saw the third base canceled for EnDerr and going up and taking the top left-hand corner.
The Marines are out of position to actually protect these siege tanks. This is the one opportunity that EnDerr has to break the splash damage option of this Terran player. Now the Bangling's going to be rolling in, but the Mutas can't get a good angle to... Oh, actually the Marines not necessarily splitting as well as possible, but there's still so many left.
Yeah, the Marines, not accompanied not by the medevacs, the Mutas did a lot of damage into, but even more Marines coming down. GG! Well played! Spear is the grand finals winner. He took #1 place in ASL Challenger League Season 4 with a 5-1 victory.